Hey friends, I'm super excited to join you today and have you join us. I'm going to be talking with Barbara Kemmis from CANA about their upcoming conference and just changes that have happened in the last, like 15, 16 months now. We've been going this way. So Barbara, thanks for being here and carving out the time so close to your conference to spend with me. Can you give me just a quick introduction for those that may not know who you are?
Sure. Thanks, Ryan. It's great to be with you. So I'm Barbara Kemmis, Executive Director of the Cremation Association of North America, or CANA. And I'm one of our crack team of 6 who plan conventions and member benefits and certifications and all sorts of great things. And today I'm joining you from my dining room, which has been my main office for the last 15, 16 months with my dog sleeping behind me. But more and more we're getting into the office, and I am excited to leave this room and go to Seattle for our convention in August.
Yes, so Seattle. And I think the last time you and I had a conversation like this, it was about the virtual conference that was going to happen last year. So just what are some differences of what CANA did last year and then what's going to be taking place at the in-person this year? And give us the dates of when that's happening.
Absolutely. So yeah, you're right. A little over a year ago, we were frantically planning, switching gears from planning a convention in Seattle to planning a virtual convention. And it was one of the first virtual conventions in the profession. And I think we did a decent job, as well as you can, on a platform, creating opportunities for interaction between attendees and presenters and attendees and exhibitors. And we're all on one platform with, at that point, some chat and video chat function and different things like that. So we learned a lot from that experience. We learned a lot how different it is talking through a screen than talking in person, how much we missed hugs. For me, handshakes, even fist bumps feel good these days. And also how critical for a convention the 3 audiences really are, which is the attendees, the exhibitors, and then the, I guess, presenters or planners, because you don't just come to learn something. You don't just come to, to see your friends and hug people, but you come for all those reasons, right? And you want to see new products and services. So what we offered that on a virtual platform. Virtual platforms are easier to walk by, or rather not click on, than a booth in a room and a live person sitting behind that. So we're excited to be back in person. We'll be at the Westin Seattle, August 11th through the 13th. So the first full week of August. And our theme, we never really have a theme for the convention. It's always kind of local innovation, but our theme this year unofficially is kind of family reunion. We're all back together, and we're building a meeting for people who want to be together, right? Who are ready to travel and ready to be together. So we're excited to be in the Westin Seattle, August 11th through the 13th. It's time to be back in person. So hugs will be loud, handshakes, fist bumps, all of the above. If you want to, if you're not ready, you're welcome to wear a mask. We're building a convention for people who are ready to travel, who are ready to be together. That's not everybody. So come if you want to. So that's the gist of it. And we're excited that we have a smaller trade show floor and a different kind of setup for the floor. For those of your listeners who have not been to a CANA convention, we're small. We have about 300 people, 300 to 350 people in the room, exhibitors, attendees, presenters, everybody all in one ballroom, learning, eating, everything together. And the same will be true. We'll just be a little further apart thanks to the hotel, but we'll make do.
That's right. And we're all kind of used to that. And I think from an exhibitor perspective, one of the most valuable things that we've gotten from CANA is that everything is in the same room. Everybody's there the whole time together. There's not a separate exhibit hall. And I think that is an advantage because there's a lot more exposure, and if people are not totally dialed into the presenter, their eyeballs can be wandering and looking at booths and things of that nature. So we've learned a lot in the last 15 months, and kudos to you and your team You were one of the first virtual conferences last year, really kind of the inaugural on a large scale that got a lot of exposure. And I think that you did very well. I think that we exhibited, and the experience was positive for what it can be at a virtual conference. And I don't think any of us were prepared for a virtual conference and how to maximize it and those things. I think now, given the same platforms or new platforms that have been created and different opportunities that are available through platforms, would we be able to figure it out? Absolutely, and probably get more value, but it's still not the same as the physical. And you and I were talking about this off camera, just this is a relationship based profession, and the hugs that's how we connect. And so it's going to be great to be back in person with those that want to be in person and travel. But what's one of the largest takeaways that you have been able, either personally or as association, taken from the last 15 months?
Yeah, I think how much we need each other, and it's expressed in different ways, hugs and handshakes for sure, but how much we need each other to find solutions and to bounce ideas off one another. And so I think the program we planned is great, and go to our website and see the lineup of speakers. I'm excited to hear all of them, but I'm almost more excited for the breaks and the meals and the bar time afterwards, because that's where a lot of the kind of processing all this new information and applying it to our businesses really takes place, and also just the fun stuff. And we need to have fun too. But I feel like it's been a year and a half since I've really talked to some of our exhibitors and even some of my board members in a casual way, like, how's your business?
Yeah.
Right? When we're on Zoom, we don't get to those casual questions as often. We stick to the agenda and sometimes skip over the get to know you stuff, which is so critical. And I love seeing all these in-person meetings happening around the country, the state meetings, as well as increasingly some of the national meetings. And I think it's great. And one thing we also learned that's really important, a big takeaway, is games are fun. And so one of the most popular, right? One of the most popular things we did during the virtual convention was a scavenger hunt, gamification. And so, yeah, we're all familiar. You go to a convention, you go around, you get a stamp in your passport, right? Well, this was a little different. We had codes, like little Easter eggs saved for each session. Our board members had special codes. The speakers did. If you visited each booth, you got a code, right? And we had fully a third of the attendees, and not the students, interestingly, the business units, so to speak, right? The decision makers playing this game. And exhibitors donated fabulous prizes and sponsored all sorts of experiences and things that we ended up shipping to people. So we're carrying that forward, and we're going to have gamification at the in-person event, which will be on the app. And so exhibitors will have codes you scan or type in, and we're empowering the exhibitors a bit, because we've heard, and your listeners can decide where they fit into this category. Some send their kids around, right, to get the codes. Some say, hi, how you doing? I'd like the code. Yeah. Some actually have a conversation and are intrigued with something on your booth. So we're giving the exhibitors the choice of how many points to award based on the interaction.
That's good. I like that.
And the attendees will know the rules. We're also doing something unique, since we're limited in the number of exhibitors we'll have about 40 some, it looks like. So it's about half the size of a usual CANA trade show. We thought, well, let's roll with it. Let's embrace this. Let's create appointments. And some smaller meetings do this. They call it kind of speed dating, or 5-minute appointments with each exhibitor. And then attendees who are playing the game get more points for that, but also attendees who really want to meet with exhibitors.
Yeah.
and a dedicated time can do so. So it can be a 5-minute sales pitch. You can play some blackjack. You can do an art project. You can do whatever you want to do in those 5 minutes with folks. But it's a dedicated time and a different, let's take a breath and not just, here's my spiel, here's your stamp. Let's have a real conversation kind of thing. So we've introduced that, and then we'll have the open exhibitor time. As well as, excuse me, one of the restrictions that we had to work within is the hotel wants everybody to be seated when they eat and drink, right?
Okay.
No wandering around with a beer in your hand.
All right.
That's a rule that's persistent. A lot of rules have changed, but we're working with what we know. So fine, we have the exhibitor tables, we have the learning, eating tables, and we've invited exhibitors to host the learning table. So not only will an exhibitor have a table with their wares and products and services displayed, but they will have a table with their name on it, and they can invite certain people to eat with them, or others can join them, and they can meet new people that way. So
that's really cool.
So we're excited about that, because that's more of a, you have a different kind of conversation when you're meeting together.
Well, it's a different interaction, and it's another strategic way for an exhibitor to have engagement and to have conversation. So I like it. See, now if it was me, I would stack a couple of those seats with clients that were just going to spout wonderful testimonials, and then see, there's some games that can be played there as well.
That's a great idea. Yeah, and I've already heard some people say that they're going to have staff, so maybe they have 4 people from their company coming, and they'll seat them at other tables to see what other people are talking about. So there's reconnaissance happening as well.
I like it. I love it. Well, look, I mean, you guys were trailblazers last year with virtual, and you're trailblazing one of the larger in-person conferences now this year. And I love the forward thinking, and okay, how do we take what we learned here of what people like and apply it to in-person now, where we can keep those things going and make it even more of a value add for all 3 types of attendees that'll be there. So I love that. And one of the other things I'll mention quickly that I've loved what you've done this past year is the webinars. You guys have done a great job with continual webinars, very poignant, relevant webinar topics. You've done a lot of collaboration throughout the last year with other companies and members and things to really provide some super valuable information. I know you had done webinars in the past, but I really feel outside looking in, what you've done over the last year, extremely valuable, and hopefully that can continue.
Our plan, thank you for that. We absolutely stepped up our webinar game, and our plan is to continue, but we're 100% dependent on our member partners. Some of those are suppliers, some of those are our regular practitioner members, but we're 100% dependent on them for the content. And I think this was kind of the coming together of 2 wonderful trends, which is, okay, we can't get together in person, so let's do some webinars, but also content marketing. And that's something we've tried to embrace and tell the CANA story and our marketing, our different member benefits and services and education things, but our suppliers have really stepped up. So the best partners all our partners are the best, but the early adopters and the most well-received webinars have been, the content is 100% generated from our. We help with structure, we provide the platform, we provide the technical assistance. You know how important that is, right?
Yes.
Everything runs smoothly so that the content can be delivered seamlessly. So great to so we have a number scheduled for this fall, and I hope that you're on that list, because we did this wonderful panel last year, What's the Future of Funerals webinar, and we're starting to talk about reprising that a year.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love to make it happen.
Okay, great.
It's super valuable. Yes. Awesome. Well, look, thank you so much, Barbara, for carving out few minutes to hang out and talk about the upcoming conference. If someone wants more info on the conference, where's the best kind of hub to go to get registration information, exhibitor information, and all of it?
The best thing to do is go to our website first, and that's www.cremationassociation.org. And if that's too long to type, go CANA.org also works. So
Cool.
you can find right there on our homepage a link to the website with our exhibitors and sponsors listed, the full schedule, housing, everything. So, and if you're not, hopefully our digital marketing is in full full bore right now. So hopefully you're seeing all those ads appear as well. But we've got a great group of exhibitors who are all in to, and presenters who are all in to have a very engaging conversational experience at a convention. So I like to say, if this is the one convention you choose, come to CANA, right? Come to Seattle.
There you go. That's right.
Just come to us first.
There you go. Awesome. Well, look, thank you so much. Congratulations on all the adaptation over the last 15 months, making things work, elevating the services that you provide, and serving the profession at such a high level, really on the fly with just trailblazing. So nice job to you and your team and your board and the things that you've been able to do over the past year, because it's absolutely needed and super beneficial.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That means so much that you recognize us. So
absolutely. All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ryan.